to avoid making any real mistakes. Chicken goes down. That is it. That is the end, everyone. Chicken has been cooked. He has been served on a platter next to the Liptide and the record core, along with Hello and welcome to Iron Tourist to Honest Brute's Big Bad Ballroom Bash and Barbecue Eating Contest. My name is Ballistic Salsa of Human Plus Productions. And thank you for coming, ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between and otherwise. We have an excellent competition today of 9 different competitors coming in, showing off their mastery of RAD products. RAD, turning today's ruins into tomorrow's innovations. Allegedly not a drug cartel, and I have been informed that anyone saying otherwise will be subject to lawsuits and or savage beatings on their own time. So keep that in mind. I will not be enforcing it. I don't want to think about who is. So, let's get right to it. I just got the aperitif soup. I kind of expected to see more of that combination. Saw a lot of aperitif. And there's Thane. Thane brought the lance, that's right. And the delivery boy. Very bold choices. But, yep, this map is a very interesting one, and that is entirely on a hill. There is a lot of, like... It has a lot of open space, but it's almost like deceptive, right? Because you see all this, like, terrain everywhere. The ceiling is like this giant gun that has all these rafters in it. So if either player wanted to just kind of rat, that they absolutely could. Now Rourke is kind of doing the gets caught by the lance. Fortunately, Thane can't follow up too much on it. I don't think he's terribly comfortable on RJ. But yeah, Rourke is playing. Oh, gets caught by the lance again. If he gets caught by like another one of those, it might be the end. Yep, greeted the PA a little too much, gets ended by a kick right at the last second. Now, Spring Chicken recently got some buffs. I don't know how much they're really going to play into it here. But yeah, Delivery Boy, Laser Drone, and Aperitif. I think Delivery Boy is kind of an interesting choice with soup available. There might be like some energy concerns for that because he is running the Wrecker Core. What booster is he on? Oh! He takes a lot of damage. Gets staggered again. Yeah, Rourke he's got a lot of stability. He just ate that lance and that kick and only just now got staggered. And Thane just trying to get something in here. As Rourke is playing the very classic heavy RJ game where you just kind of bounce around your opponent at mid-range, either jumping into the air or using your QBs to kind of just stay out of danger. Thane just not having the AP or just getting the right combo in there to do the work. Rourke's going to take the first match. As we go, I've already seen some success of it myself, and other people are kind of getting into it too, so you kind of see how this goes. Rourke has a little bit more of an advantage here, being more air-based, but maybe Thane has learned something about the matchup he can work with. And certainly I've heard people... Oh! Rourke misses the punish for the kick. Just trying to dodge these missiles. Gets caught by the last kiss of that lance. If Thane playing a classic RJ kicker, but he's not doing... Oh! Gets a little bit of a punish in. Misses the final kick. I think he just barely has the life lead. He's keeping the pressure on. He's not allowing Rourke to get in there. Rourke, though, not really running away. Plays his PA. If Thane could just avoid taking a terrible stagger, he might be able to pull this off. It's very close. Gets hit by another one. This might be it. And that's it. All the Rourke just not avoiding any of the lances coming his way. And that helps Thane catch things up. He is on... I can't tell what booster. Is that SPD or PO4? But yeah, RJ Missile Kicker was kind of one of those builds that proved kind of scary in the lobbies. Sadly, it doesn't look like any of the players that were really like praying for its success are here today, sadly. Thane just trying to make an okay showing of it at least, playing a more kitey version of it. It's using the lance to kind of cover ground. Oh! An exchange of kicks that Thane loses out on. Yeah, Thane just trying to find an opening here to get his lance in. Warwick definitely has the advantage on NGI and playing a much more distance-oriented build. Thane either has to like lean on his missiles and lean on Rourke making mistakes, or try to get in there with that lance. Typical RJ kick doctrine, what you want to do is, I think Thane might be playing this a bit wrong, is you want to actually fire your missiles off and go in. Like a very aggro build. Like you fire aperitif, you fire delivery boy, aperitif, you release your drones as you AB in, and you either try to land the kick or try to land the lance. But Rourke definitely adapted, and I think Thane's playing maybe perhaps a little too passively for this kind of build. I'd honestly like to see him get a little bit more aggressive with it. You know, RJ Missile is not a passive build unless it absolutely has to. He goes into the rat hole. I don't know if that's really going to do much for him. Maybe hoping to, like, worst case scenario, get this into a draw and pull this into... I mean, if he pulls this game into a draw, it's actually going to go in Rourke's favor, so he has to, like, get a definitive win. Pulls the PA early. Rourke has got, like, a significant AP lead right now. He gets the missiles up, not landing the kick. Gets the lance, so he slides off. Unfortunate. Not able to get the full damage that he wanted to get in. It's very much looking like Rourke's game and Rourke's round. Because Thane just does not have the ability or to come back and take it back from him. And Rourke is going on to winners round 2. Good luck, Thane, on your journey through losers. Hopefully we will see you again. Before top 4 cut, I'm just going to try to catch you people as I can. So we have Celestio. Is that a jammer bomb? We're playing like a thing that is a thing. And we have double melee coming from Unsung here. That is a Demon Blade. Oh no. Celestio may be in danger here if he doesn't keep his distance and pick his shots carefully. Is that a napalm launcher? I thought it was a smoke launcher. No, that is a napalm launcher. Oh, that's too slow for a Demon Blade. Yep. Celestio gets out of there. Lands a nice Majestic. Unsung decides I'd rather reset than face any more of this, especially when I have the AP lead. Celestio trying to get in there and get some shots in. Grid 12 just not cooperating. All sorts of particle effects coming out. Oh no! That's the end of Celestio. Right as Unsung was getting staggered there. A8 in the corner where Celestio had no chance. So Celestio is kind of playing... I want to say he's trying to kite a little bit here, but kiting is kind of tough when your opponent is just absolutely just going to melee cancel towards you aggressively. This is very much like this kind of matchup in normal circumstances is very much a 100-0 kind of matchup. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's going to be the end for Celestio. Barely makes it, but he's like, you could sneeze on him and he'll die. And that's exactly what happens as the soups come in. Yeah, kite versus double melee matchup tends to either go 100 to 0 in the kite's favor or 100 to 0 in the melee's favor. It's rarely even. And here's Celestio. Probably going to start by firing off a Majestic and a Soup and backing up. We'll see what he plans to do here. Unsung just kind of waiting for him to get in. Oh no. Oh no, he got caught on the terrain and got hit by the Soup, but I think Unsung came out the worse for it because he tried the Demon Blade instead of the fire for a minute. People in chat rooting for Celestio. And I believe he can do it. I believe he can do it too. Unsung is going to put that into question though as he just starts going in on them with glorious steel. Celestio has to run away or he's going to take all of the damage. Just barely avoids the AA, but it might not matter. It's the life lead and the stagger lead clearly in Celestio's favor. I'm sorry, clearly in Unsung's favor. I don't know if he straight up fell or if the Sweet 16 got him in the head. Camera angle was a little awkward. But this is a map with the potential for just falling to your death. Now, soups are exchanged, as is natural in these cases. Oof. Celestio avoiding the melee canceled heavy blade. Just keeping his distance. Just doesn't manage to avoid the oscillator. He is in danger of potential life-ending... Oh, no! The rain absolutely crushes Unsung. He is killed in the gears of denial as Celestio makes his getaway. The life lead's still in Unsung's favor, though, so Celestio can't quite run away and do what he wants to do. He has to at least engage at least a little bit in order to keep that life lead. Celestio in danger again. And that's it, folks. Unsung will move on to face Katu. Good luck fighting Rourke, Celestio. Or not Rourke, I'm sorry. Good luck fighting Raku. Big Kiri Kite with the aperitif and the soup. Just taking care of the advantage of the missiles. And Thane is on something you could probably build with Legos. And Unsung kind of playing a interesting like double melee build. Surprised he didn't sacrifice anything for Basho, but I couldn't tell you what happened there. So we're watching from Thane's perspective real quick. He is on a red gen, which I didn't really notice before. I thought it was an orange gen. I'm wondering if that's probably part of the reasons he's had so many problems. But he is getting kind of pooped on right now, as the CQC pressure is most definitely in the double melee's favor. Oh! Long distance oscillator does not trade well with the lance. Unsung getting back in the cave, still has the life lead. Sheds the stability easily. Yeah, we definitely had a lot of people making fun creatures. I had a couple players who thought about playing, who kind of had some really like sensible looking builds. Oof! Thane caught by the AA jump scare. Thane backing up. I think Thane is recognizing the danger. That looked like a proper Demon Blade. Didn't catch Thane though. Thane is just being absolutely murdered by the weaknesses of Lance, which is, even if it hits, it doesn't hit. Thane kind of teleports up into the sky. I think we're having a bit of an issue. Getting a little bit of latency here. Oh, whiffs the Pulse Blade, gets slid off of by the Lance. Kind of a optimistic AA there. Gets hit by the Lance into a stagger. No punish follows though. And without any punish, Unsung chases him down and shoots him in the face. Back to what we're doing here. Back on Unsung's perspective here. Yep, yep. No. You're not in lobby after this. Well, let's see. The winner of this will go on to losers semifinals, and the winner of you and Raku will go on to losers semifinals. That's when we'll stop. So if you're already in a room with Raku, just go ahead and play it out. I just saw that these two were good and ready to go, so I just went ahead and grabbed them. But absolutely do not wait. No reason to. And that went, I was messing about too much. I missed the entire thing. Don't divide your attention, folks. I don't have enough left to spare, even on meds. Well, we're on Thane's perspective now. Let's see. I think Thane is just not has the tools really to do much about this particular build here. Yeah, his lances are just kind of glancing off of him. Even when they hit, they don't hit. Yeah, the AA comes in, and that puts a very, very quick end to Unsung's tournament run. Rura, Katu, Zozo, and Unsung. Every single one of you deserve to be up here. Every last one of you are deserving of becoming the next Iron Tourist. Unfortunately, there can only be one Iron Tourist and 3 people who are not the Iron Tourist. Therefore, a further test is required in order to ensure that any one of you is the true Iron Tourist we are searching for. And thus, we introduce our secret ingredient. Going through the builds, I noticed that and this was happening in lobbies too, I noticed there was a part that no one was using, and it's a perfectly valid RAD product, and people really, really should be using it. But it's also pretty terrible, too. In fact, the more I looked into it, the worse it got. So that is why we're not going to use Mule. Mule will not be the secret ingredient, nor the delivery boy. However, I have been passed a note, and unfortunately, this is a corporate-sponsored lobby, or corporate-sponsored tournament, as you know. And that means they have provided merchandise at the door and catering. And RAD provided catering. I don't know what catering they provided, given there's nothing on this planet but pine trees and mealworms. So, unfortunately, I'm afraid Cinder Carla has played something of a prank upon you. The fruit punch that you all drank has unfortunately been laced with high-grade coral. So I would go to rehab as soon as the tournament is over, because now you're hopelessly addicted to coral. All your non-RAD weapons must be coral weapons. Yep, you are now a doser against your will. I will put up the BRB timer now. The 15 minutes will start. I'll take your time. Go pee. You may rebuild all your parts. You must still have 6 out of 11 parts. You may leave the lobby. You don't have to stay in the lobby. If you do leave the lobby, come back in with your final build, okay? I am going now, and I am starting the timer now. Good luck, everyone. As we go back to the main screen here, Dare has failed these poor gentlemen. Pray for them, because they are now addicted to a horrible alien substance that may or may not be sentient and flammable. So we'll put away the Dare sign, because it did not work for these people. Get out of the garage, Unsung. It's too late. Pencils down. Does Rourke have a non? No, he can have a non. Yeah, that's a coral weapon. He's allowed to do that. Attaché. Yeah, these are all rat or coral weapons. Yeah, that was me because. Yeah, sit down. Sit in your chair. Sit in your chair. We're going over your homework now. All right. Rourke has done his homework. This is an A plus. He has got a Walt rifle. He has got an aperitif, a soup, and an attaché. He is a completely legal build. God knows what horrible sacrifices he had to make to fit both the Walt rifle and the attaché on this build. According to him, this is like arms overburdened a little bit. No, they do not. They don't have to be NGI. Just the weapons. If you know, like he already had like NGI boosters on this. He probably had he had to fit the NGI generator on this for this crap. So yeah, he doesn't have to be. That's just the choice he had to make. I'm assuming. Katu just made his build and put a coral shield on it, with also a Walt rifle. This is awful, and I hope your ancestors can forgive you for your sins. Coral shield and missiles. Actually, he doesn't have but like one missile. He has a attaché on here, so I'm actually kind of. This is going to be a very different fight than his like all missile boat and nebula build. I'm real curious to see how this plays out. All right, Zozo. Zozo was the next to last to finish. This screams to me of Dodo-sama. Dodo-sama was the only player on the planet who ran double bad cook. Obviously, he can't run double bad cook, so he ran double bad cook attaché with a coral missile and a coral shield. So yeah, this is basically Dodo-sama. I approve. This is good. Also an NGI generator. It's in. I hope nobody took the NGI generator because it had to. I was pretty explicit on weapons. You don't have to go NGI if you don't want to. But too late now. But and Unsung. Unsung was the last one to finish. He said these were very strict rules. Let's see what he came up with. Looks like a redshift. Looks like a coral oscillator, and everything else is basically the same. So, yeah, and on a Kushi generator, yeah, everything else is basically the same. He just decided that I can't play double melee properly, so I'm just going to switch my blade out. So there we go. Alright, first things first. I'm going to put the music back on here briefly, and we will get winners' finals out of the way. Alright, let's see who it is. I am going to need Cat Dog and Rourke. Ready up. The true Iron Tourist is about to be found right now. Good luck to Rourke and Katu. We'll see who goes on for a guaranteed second place. The identity of Katu's build changed entirely. Rourke kind of went more for a Hyper Robo style. And we've seen Hyper Robo on RJ before, so this is going to be a very interesting matchup. Yeah, Katu has changed completely while still maintaining the same parts. And we just saw these two fight on stream on like the older build, so I'm gonna watch from Katu's perspective first, but I'm kind of scared to see how his identity changed exactly. He just goes right in. That's scary. He just said, no, I'm aggro boat now. Man. Like, he's just very even fight right now. Both stagger bars pretty close to one another. Katu's almost there, though. Rourke hits it first, though. Katu hits his PA first, just maintaining the lead barely. Gotta get more damage in. Rourke is greeting his PA just a little bit. He's eating more damage probably than necessary. Kind of hard to see past the boat into the red. See, Rourke is catching up. Stagger is just barely in Katu's favor. One or two shots away from being from a stagger here. It could end the fight. Ooh. Rourke hits the kick, gets the punish in, gets the AP lead, and pops his PA, forces Katu to disengage. This could be Rorik's fight here if he just manages, if he doesn't take too much damage, because everything is in Rorik's favor. It is Rorik's game to throw and Katu's game to pull everything out. Burns the shield, gets staggered. Rorik doesn't finish the game, but it might not matter. He has got the distance and everything in his favor as long as he doesn't get hit by anything unfortunate. But Katu gets blown up in the first phase. See how both of these players adapt. Rorik playing the dancing game that Heavy RJ likes to play when it's on a kite. Just trying to make sure he doesn't get hit by too many of those waltz. Because while it might seem like Rorik might have the advantage, his arms are overburdened, but Katu's on salad arms, so that doesn't have much firearm proficiency at all. Katu's the first one to eat a stagger real quick. Rorik does have a bit of the AP lead, but the stagger is more in Katu's favor. Katu not really flying around all that much, just kind of flying around when he wants to reposition. Otherwise, he's sticking around and shielding to cover what he can. Rorik gets staggered. Doesn't really get... Oh, he does get a kick, so a little bit of a punish there. Looking like it might go right back in Rorik's favor here. Katu blows the PA before it gets too far out of control. Katu does have the AP and not quite the stagger. Rorik does get the reset. Rorik pops his PA so he could just start going in. Rorik disengages. He's decided, oh, I'm sorry, Katu disengages. He has decided, I don't want any part of that. I have the AP lead. I am no longer required to play this game that you wish to play. We're going to play the game I want to play now. But he goes by Rorik, probably inadvisably, as he ate a lot of damage as he passed through Rorik's line of fire. Now Rorik is the one playing coy, as he backs up away from Katu, deeper into the well of the gun. Eats a lot of soups, though. Damn near gets killed. Yeah, he didn't see the soups coming from below. Oh, no! Rorik almost lost that one there. A very fortunately timed stagger does put Rorik back in the seat and gives him the phase and the round. He can fly over the hole and make Rorik work for it. So we'll see what happens. The boat is very much... Yeah, Rorik just goes straight for the hole, gets an AP lead with a good walt snipe. It's going to force Rorik into a really awkward position here where he has to probably hit with some missiles and not get hit himself. He just kind of floats above here, trying to find a position where he can fire and not get himself murdered. Yeah, Rorik gets shoot up by missiles. The exchange definitely not going in his favor here. Katu very happy to take this. Oh no, the noodle! The noodle comes! And it clips him with the marinara sauce. Rorik may be addicted to coral now, but it is not really how he wants to imbibe it. You are not to boof the coral. Nope, into the hole. It looks like this might go in Katu's favor. Katu is 100% build checking on this map, like the rat bastard that he is. How can a man be named Cat Dog but have rat all over it? Disco, I'm certain, would be proud. But watching it from this perspective, going straight for the hole again. No damage has been done so far. Rorik does get clipped by a missile, putting him back in this exact same situation. Yeah, Rorik kind of has to figure out a way to either land more missiles or get in there and punish Katu for his crimes, of which there are currently many being committed right now. It might not sound like it, but I am snoring on the edge of my seat while I watch the boat float back and forth and try to noodle Rorik. Oh! Rorik goes back into the pit. This is going to be our... I think this will be the first time we've had a 2-1 all game. Or all tournament. We'll do this song. Alright, go back to this perspective here. Alright, this is a much more brawly map. Plenty of cover. And Katu was comfortable trying to brawl a little bit on 12A. This is a map with a much better frame rate than the other two. So we're going to kind of see if Rurik can take advantage of the close proximity with nowhere for Katu to run and nothing but a shield and that glorious tank stability to rely upon. So far, Katu has both the AP lead and the stagger lead. Katu forced to back away as he understands that he's almost in danger of being staggered. Gets into the ball pit. I don't know if I'd want to be in the ball pit with an RJ, and Katu doesn't know either. So he moves to the next room, gets into the corner, gets put in the corner and beaten in the corner, but he still has the lead. Just barely. It is very even, very brawly fight right now. Katu floating around, still kind of proving that attaché is a terrible weapon as he floats around and dodges all the shots. Let me get back to where I can actually see things going on here. There we go. Yeah, nowhere to run. It's looking pretty even. I think one stagger will take it either way. And Katu looks like he's going to be the one hit. Oh! Oh no! One snipe, one Walt snipe here might be able to do it for Katu. They're barely ahead. It's looking like it's going to be Katu's game here. Yep. Katu proving he's not afraid to mix it up if he has to. This is very much a brawl. Go back from this perspective. And Katu may be on something that's not really known for CQCing, but he is playing it extremely well against a build that could just hit him with a kick at any point. If he just misses one shield. The Coral Shield doing a lot of work for Katu in this matchup. Because it's helping Katu maintain his stagger against something that on paper has a lot more stability than he does. Katu blows his PA first. Go back to things being even. Rurik just gets the AP lead off the PA coming down. So Rurik gets to play coy now and plink at him with missiles. Rurik heads for the ceiling. Is very, very close. It's one or two Walt shots away from turning one way or the other at any point. Rurik blows his PA before he loses the AP lead too closely. Now, Katu takes cover in the ceiling, one of my favorite spots, but it doesn't look like he's going to make it. It might have been too much. Oh no, the kick puts him in. Did he get in a stagger? That was weird. Maybe I missed something. Maybe he staggered a lot earlier than I thought. It seemed like he got staggered out of the kick, or I don't know. But right now, it's Rurik's game to win and to lose, as one or two Walt shots will absolutely put it back in Katu's favor. And that is exactly what happened. And Katu takes it. Katu proving that his boat can in fact brawl when it wants to. The Walt rifle, the main point of their build. Meanwhile, Zozo has contacted the ancestors and they whispered in his ear, "Remember Dodo-sama." Unsung has decided, "I don't need the pulse blade, but everything else is perfectly okay." Unsung's build virtually unchanged. While Zozo here has decided we're no longer allowed to watch what happens. Neither is his opponent. Gets out of the way of the Demon Blade, or the Coral Oscillator there. Both people being very coy. Disarms the Coral Missile. AP lead is now in Zozo's favor. Unsung just trying to land an Oscillator or a Moonlight, just trying to get something done if you can't melee him properly. I haven't seen too many missiles coming out of Unsung. I'm wondering if that's a mistake. Does manage to clip him with the moonlight there. There's the missiles on the way. Coral missile screaming in behind Unsung. Manages to land. I think that landed. Either he landed or he got caught by the AoE as it hit the ramp. But the AP lead is heavily in the favor of Zozo, as Zozo PA's out of range of the AA, giving him a commanding lead here. Yeah. Unsung, flies into the terrain, trying to get rid of the Coral Missile. The Coral Missile absolutely has to be gotten rid of. It's just like even a couple of those little dinghies will end the fight. And Unsung taking his time to figure out his approach. Because a Bad Cook is not the thing you kind of want to run into. Bad Cook is a good kite weapon. Oh, and the Coral Missile gets its vengeance for all the times it got ran into the terrain. For all its coral brothers and sisters. Right, looking for this perspective. Unsung a little bit gets in a little bit more aggressive now, not trying to hit him with anything. Still, he ate that Coral Missile and puts the lead. Oof. Hey, does strip the PA. Zozo electing to mix it up a little bit more here. Brawling a tiny bit more. Still playing vertically. Zozo's just playing this extremely well. Unsung is struggling to land anything. And he ends up getting cooked to death. Just trying to get by this absolute wall of fire and fatness. Audacious Punk Pulse flavor. Alright, we're gonna stay on Unsung's view. The last time that we were on this map, the boat, proving itself to be the absolute GOAT, ran out into the hole. Neither of these players are probably going to be inclined to do that, as neither really has the tools to stay in the air forever. But we're going to see how the approach differs here, with a lot less terrain to worry about. The Coral Missile will have a little bit more free reign. Gets in there with the Oscillator, gets shielded away. Unsung gets the stagger. Zozo very close to getting staggered himself. That could end very badly if Unsung does manage to get in a good position to get some real damage in. Oof. Optimistic AA. I think this is going to be a very hard game for Zozo to actually lose. Unsung has a pretty big, steep hill to climb now. In both AP and approach. Goes in again. Coral Shield proving to be like a real MVP here. The melee weapons are not doing any... Oh, the Coral Missile comes in. I think it's going to be the end for Unsung here. Yep, and that's it. Unsung on his tournament life right now, hanging on by his 3 fingers on the cliff. He feels them straining. He is praying to the coral gods. Please let this land. He does actually manage to hit the Oscillator. He catches it without... It doesn't get blocked by a shield. Zozo just PDAs early. But for once, the AP lead is in Zozo's favor. Is in Unsung's favor. He loses it quickly though. As the Bad Cook is approaching into Bad Cook with the attaché next to it. It's proving to be really difficult. Especially when, oh! Did that hit? I couldn't tell. Yeah, it's proving to be exceedingly difficult for Unsung to do. And Unsung just can't climb it. He can't get over his addiction of a giant man with a flamethrower just hovering above him. Alright, one of these players is guaranteed 3rd place. Another guaranteed 2nd place. Rourke on his very sensible Walter kite And Zozo on his very terrifying Bad Cook monster. An exceedingly appropriate build for Iron Tourist. Getting right into it. I don't think getting AP lead is going to be a problem for Zozo. If he can make it close. But Rourke has the distance and he has the poke advantage. And going vertical is something that Spring Chicken is very good at. In fact, everything is kind of in Rourke's lead right now. I think he did just eat the Coral Missile AoE, so he may have to PA here soon, or he's going to lose everything real quick. That was an uncharged Coral Missile. It didn't go anywhere. I think there's a little bit of panic. Oh no, the Bad Cook! He's chewing him up! Rourke somehow managed to keep the AP lead as Zozo panic PA'd. Maintains his PA. This is either going to be greed from Rourke or absolute... No, he does it. He hits it, and he's going in for the kill. Coral Missile's no longer a threat, but the Coral Shield's still doing a lot of work for Zozo. Keeps him still going. And it looks like it's about to be over with Zozo. One more. That's it. Or will it? Or will it? Well, oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I saw Rourke's AP go away, and I'm like, oh no! Zozo almost brought it back. Probably like no more than double-digit AP on Rourke there. Rourke deciding he's going to play this a little bit more coy. As Zozo gets right in there and starts pelting him with the fire and the flames. I think AP lead is just barely in Zozo's favor. Just kind of going back and forth now. And Coral Shield has one of those advantages that you can just hold it while shooting weapons. And you see Zozo do it, taking advantage of that now. He can just sort of walk at people with the shield up. Rourke has it. Oh no! Zozo blocking the kick with the Coral Shield. Keeps himself from taking too bad of a punish. Well, it is looking to be a little bit in Rourke's favor now, but we saw how that went last fight. Zozo almost staggered. Rourke gets away, does not want the fight to end this way. Unfortunately, got caught in the terrain and blown up as he tries to get away, realizing his mistake too late as the Walter shots fly into his rear. At any point, the fight could turn around very, very quickly. So Rourke has to play perfect defense, and Zozo just kind of has to get lucky. Zozo deciding to kind of fly over the hole this time around. They're both even. Oh! And just like I said, the Coral Missile gets Rourke in the back. Gives Zozo a pretty good AP lead now. Zozo can just take advantage of it and avoid getting hit too much. He might be able to... No, there's a stagger. Not a lot of punish coming out. Zozo still very much has the lead. Dancing around the train right now. Zozo trying to go in for the kill, recognizing that Rourke is almost staggered. Looks like his Bad Cook burnt out right there, right as the stagger happened. I hate when that happens. AP lead still just barely in Zozo's favor. Now it's back to Rourke. For a fight that's just luck, this is very, very close. Rourke forced the PA. Zozo decides he'd rather make a getaway than fight that, but it's looking pretty heavily in Rourke's favor. Rourke's late PA really coming into work here. I think it really is just coming down to PA usage here. PA does seem to be the deciding factor. So we'll see if either of these players read it a little too hard. There's the noodle. Rourke finally giving us what we always wanted. A giant red screaming noodle. To satisfy our stimming. Zozo takes a little bit of damage from the soups, and probably the aperitif. I couldn't see that. Again, for two kites effectively fighting, this is a very brawly matchup, which is exactly what we wanted to see. I think Zozo just made a terrible error. I think he panic PA'd while Rourke was staggered. I think that might be it. Unless like Zozo can get like some good burst damage in to make this, you know, the counter PA not matter. Rourke taking his time to try and approach, understanding that the bag hooks are a problem. He disarms the missile, coral missile immediately. Zozo almost staggered again. With no PA, this could turn things around really quickly. With like one good shot. No. He finally burns the PA. Zozo trying to get away. Just manages to fall back in. This could still be in Zozo's favor. Zozo just has to hold up and make as few mistakes as possible in the next few seconds. He could still take this back. He still win this. And Rourke can absolutely take this back. Just don't get hit by these missiles. Don't hit too much. Don't get staggered. Just don't lose the game, Zozo. Forehead. Oh no! At the very last second. The very, very last second. We are in grand finals of Iron Tourist 2, Honest Brute's Big Bad Ballroom Bash and Barbecue Eating Contest. We do apologize that the barbecue was in fact laced with coral. I would recommend going to the rehab clinic as soon as the doors open again and you're allowed out of the arena. Do not do drugs, children, especially screaming, flammable, sentient ones. As coral is a heavily controlled substance and only can be found on one planet, out in the sticks of the galaxy. But we saw this match earlier up. Let's see how Rourke has adapted. Rourke is a bit warmer coming off the last game, and Katu has proven he can brawl in this thing, so we're going to see what adaptations that Rourke has made in order to deal with this matchup. Both have effectively the same weapons. The difference is Katu has a shield and Rourke does not. So far, Katu is losing the stagger battle pretty clearly. Rourke just pounds into him. Unfortunately, it's gone back in Katu's favor, but not in AP. Again, much like the last time, this is not a very close fight. Katu almost staggered again. This really is just coming down to who gets who first. Katu gets knocked up. He is greeting the PA so heavy. I don't think a single PA came out. Both our players just like holding on to it like it's the last breath of fresh air underwater. The only head-sized space in the boat where you can breathe. On the Rourke point of view. These two are absolutely just exchanging blows. Feels less like a fight of evasion and quick moves and more of just who PAs or who shields better. And this is a game of 99% movement when both players are moving damn near perfectly. It really just comes down to tiny mistakes or strong decisions. Rourke again in the AP lead, still holding on to that PA to the absolute last second. Still holds on to it, despite losing the AP lead. He gets it right back though. I think Rourke has kind of figured out this match. Katu PAs, Rourke again holding on to it. We'll see at what point Rourke does decide to use it, because Katu definitely has the AP lead. He does burn it. Katu deciding to disengage to hold on to what he can. Because every scrap of AP he can hold on to is more he can use to kill Rourke with later. Gets up in the ceiling. Rourke can't follow. Probably ran ran out of EN at the worst possible time. Katu awaits him in the gun with his own guns. Both set up their aperitifs right in each other's faces. Doesn't look like they do very much. It's back in Rorik's favor. Rorik chewing him up bit by bit. And just a couple of stray walt shots have given Katu just enough of a lead. Katu gets back at the ceiling. I think he's electing to rat this out rather than see how it goes. But this may cost him because he's getting caught up in the terrain. But so is Rorik. I think Rorik got a missile in the end. So we're going on to the last phase of this map. We can't see anything because the game is funny. Yeah, Katu electing to go up in the ceiling and make use of the. Oh, this is a tournament, Kev. You're in grand finals. You missed everything. The tournament, the practice room, the sign-ups, the secret ingredient. It looks like this last phase is going heavily in Katu's favor. I think Katu has figured out what he needs to do to handle Rorik. Maybe deciding that he can simultaneous stagger. I think that favors Katu just a little bit more. In fact, it does. As he gets the last fight in. No JP players in here, I don't think. Pretty hefty build restrictions that both of these players are trying to just make their own. This rule set definitely, wow. It's hard for me to talk. I require more beer. Beer is acquired. But yeah, you can tell with this kind of restrictive rule set, the difference of players. Like, Unsung struggled real hard, and that kind of happened last tournament. Last tournament, Rorik struggled to make something work, and he ended up not really making it past the 4th place. Where the other players just kind of, well, they kind of adapted. And here we see these two players, like none of the, like Boat in this variant would not be caught dead in ranked. Boats are more ratty runaway builds, and here Katu is actually going in to do a little bit of damage. I think he has decided he doesn't want to be in the hole anymore. And now he's going back somewhere. He didn't go towards the pit. Maybe he has decided that I don't want to win this way, but I will win this way. Oh! Gravity saves Katu from getting kicked directly in the engine. Things are about close in the way they were during the... Oh! Accidental Noodle has to PA to save himself. Katu resets and reasserts. I think he's going back for the hole as Rorik gets cleared out by missiles while no one's looking. Katu rudely off-screening his opponent. Back to Rorik's point of view. Rorik just trying to see if he can't catch Katu before he gets over the pit and lands something on him. Katu, of course, ready. Has the aperitif on deck. I think Rorik has found a way to make sure that he still gets something of an AP lead and force Katu to come play the game. And there we go. Katu forced to return to come back and enjoy the coral punch that Rorik is offering. Rorik just trying to play the AP game well enough that Katu has to engage him or can't really get away without taking too much damage. Rorik gets the first stagger. Katu gets a stagger, but Katu blows his PA first. Rorik is down to about 30% of his HP. Katu not quite, just like close to about 60-70%. Katu takes for the sky. There's enough of an AP lead that... Oh, Katu is hiding in his nest. Lands like a little sneaky walt in there. Chunks a little bit more of Rorik's AP away. Kato proving that he is really good on this boat as a pilot. He's not just like a hit someone and run away. And despite the stagger, it looks like this is really going to be in Kato's favor, no matter what. And GG's, and we go on to map 3. And here we go. Rurik on his tournament life. Kato only needs to win these next 2 phases, and he will be the next Iron Tourist. With this appropriately epic music playing, our 2 pilots get into it. Rurik displaying that heavy kite vertical movement, while Kato kind of just does a rolls around and does like very, very erratic boat movement, which is tend to just kind of A-B places, circle boost and deadfall, and float around on the ground a bit. It's kind of difficult to follow at times. Kato gets staggered first. Rurik holding onto his PA until about the last second, probably. Rurik takes a big chunk of damage from those vault shots, while Kato gets away to see if he can't reset his stagger and get a better situation as we return to the fight. Kato eating a huge amount of stagger as he gets clipped by a couple vault shots unshielded. Kato finally burns his PA, but Rurik is so far gone, it might be not even worth using his PA at this point. PA greed is real. Rurik might not be seeing any value in burning it first at all, unless the game is almost over. Looking from the boat is goat view. Kato proving that his hours on boat aren't just hitting people with facades and ratting. He can, in fact, fight and brawl when the situation calls for it. And this is a situation for brawling, as both players just get right up into it. Kato does get the stagger first on himself, and Rurik barely has AP lead. But we saw before that both players kind of greeting their PA has kind of been a factor here. Rurik is about to stagger and gets his life chunked away by vault shots, putting the AP lead back in Kato's favor. Kato about staggered again. Rurik may be able to take this back real quick, unless Kato bows his PA. PA finally blown. Both players finally using their PA. Kato barely has the AP lead. Both of these players just on the edge of taking this phase and keeping, and Rurik fighting for his very actual life. Dosers are at his house, IRL, ready to end him. If he doesn't get this phase, he knows this, and he's fighting like a man where this is happening actually, and not like as a shitpost. Shields the kick. Rurik almost staggered. This could be the end. The games have ended off of an unfortunate stagger. Kato goes down. Both players, very sliver of life left at the end there. Everything is just so close. We'll get back into it. Rurik just trying to keep alive here. Absolutely refusing to go down without a fight. And this is a hell of a fight, people. Kato again gets the first stagger. Rurik puts a good deal of damage into him. Kato almost at half health. Rurik almost gets staggered. Kato might bring this back pretty quick if he gets a stagger. He has been really good at taking advantage of these when they happen, just going in with the wall. Kato, though, I think got a little too aggressive, lead being heavily in Rurik's favor. Rurik can reset. No, he elects to instead use his PA to reset and have a little bit left over for Kato when he gets back in. Looks like Rurik might be able to take this. Unless Katu does some like really fancy flying real fast, it's going to be very difficult for him to get back. Like a couple of good wall hits had to land. And it does. One good shot. Not enough damage on the punish though. And Rurik barely makes it, barely stays alive in this tournament. Score currently 2-1 as the map rotation resets back into 12A. Both players absolutely threw everyone they fought against up until now into the dirt. Katu charging right in as Rurik bounces away on those good old RJ Spring Chickens. Spring Chickens having been recently buffed. Spring Chickens having been recently... So I was like, oh, gee, thanks. Having been recently buffed, I don't know if that is a factor at all. They may have been the what's keeping... Things have been so close. That might have been the only thing that has kept Rurik going for as long as it is. Katu getting caught up in the ceiling trying to get away. Forced to blow his PA. Rurik does have the AP lead. But only just. Oh, gets the kick as he tries to AP away. Perfectly timed right there. Rurik might have this if the stagger goes back in his favor. Katu tries to get back at the ceiling, not wanting to get that stagger. Maybe looking for a reset. Rurik just electing not to chase. Deciding I'm already pretty well ahead. I don't necessarily have to play this. Oh, Katu eating all the missiles as he comes back down. And this looks like the end of Katu here. Rurik one phase closer to the wall he has to climb to get out of losers. Or rather to put Katu in losers. And fight in the mud pit. Rurik just absolutely has to keep this momentum. If he can keep this momentum, he can breathe just a little bit easier. So far, Katu just going back in, getting staggered first again. It's kind of been like a pretty repeat of like the last 4 or 5 matches. Where Katu gets staggered first, it gets a little bit of a punish. The difference has been that when Katu gets a punish, he does a lot more damage as he comes in. So Rurik just has to avoid getting staggered at all if he can. Because once he gets that stagger in, he gets a little bit further away from losing the game. You know, just like that, Katu gets back in the lead, runs for the ceiling. Doesn't quite make it. Both exchange their aperitifs. Bounce in the sky. I don't think either player has burned their PA yet, unless I missed it. There we go. Katu remembered he has his. Probably listening to the stream right now. Katu flees to the ceiling, knowing Aurora can easily take this back, especially as close to stagger as he is. Katu, unfortunately, can't fly his way out of grid 12. Rurik says he's on the wrong side. This might be the most awful game we've in history. Katu tries to get a sneaky little snipe in there. Rurik making sure he doesn't die of a bad fall. Ooh. Missiles are exchanged. Missile exchange. There is a distinct missile advantage for Rurik, but he has to dodge with the aperitifs, and that's kind of difficult. Katu, I guess, tries to get some waltz in. He does have the AP lead. He doesn't have to get in there, but I feel he probably ran out. Yeah, it looks like he ran. Something happened. back over the pit now. Yeah, Katu recognizing that the pit is the path to victory. And aperitifs are about the only way he's really gonna guarantee a win here. Oof, and some good walt snipes too will do it, definitely. Walt snipes just hurt so much. So it's currently 2-2. Unsung. I think the first time we were on this map, Katu basically pit checked him. And then the second time, Katu won this. I think, did he win this? I don't remember if he won this or not. The last time we were on here, yep. Too far gone. Unless, no, PA's right at the last second, so he doesn't guarantees his win. Yep, this might come down to, looks like it's going to come down to the hole. Katu just AP leading and hovering the pit. No, absolute can't be won by aggressing. You're correct. First one to hast aggros is taking a huge risk. Rourke just not able to dodge those missiles when he has to. Trying to get a little bit more AP lead. Oh, Katu taking a huge risk here. It might work out in his favor though, going in to try to get a little bit more AP lead before he takes his place back in the pit. Ooh, gets clipped by the noodle. Noodles are exchanged. That is lewd. Floating around, both players just trying to kind of find like a position where they can do a little bit more damage to each other. Or just still getting clipped by stray missiles. It's sad to say this is going to come down to a build check right there at the end when Rourke was just getting the momentum, but it's... I hate to say it, folks, but that's what's happening right now. Sadly, people will be talking about the tragedy of Rourke, the coral addict. Yep. Rourke elects suicide. As that is it, folks. That is it! Katu! Katwa dog. Benenant. You are the next Iron Tourist. Death before dishonor is exactly the appropriate response. It is a sad way for it to end, but that is just how these things go. It is as much about your build skill and knowing what to do as it is about your piloting. And Katu just made the right decisions for the right places. Katu Dago dedicates this boat to all boats, including Fancy Bell. I don't know if they would look at that and celebrate that, but hey. But in any case, I appreciate everyone for coming. The dosers will probably finally leave my house now. I will announce the rules for the next one probably within the coming week. I kind of already have them in mind. It's not really a spoiler to tell you that the next two tournaments, if there is a fourth one, the next one will be blind pick as opposed to build lock. But do not think for a moment that it being blind pick either of them is suddenly going to make the secret ingredient not really a thing. They're absolutely both going to be present and dangerous. So, if you like this, come back for the next one. We do lobbies to practice for these rule sets sometime after I announce them. Katu and Rorik, if you can send me your PayPal information so I can get that sent to you by the end of the night, I would appreciate that. As for everything else, oh yeah, yeah, I do believe that if there was any other map, I think Rorik could have had the momentum enough to reset the bracket. But well, it is what it is. The game decided that Rurik had to be on the side of losing because it really did depend on what side he was, so he could take advantage of the distance from the pit. But that's just how these things go. It's sad to see it end up like that, but everything leading up to it was fantastically played, and you both did wonderfully. So I appreciate everyone for coming. I've got some admin duties to take care of on my end, and sometime within the week, I will rewrite the rules because it won't be built like it'll be blind picks. So some things I'm going to have to redo, and I'll have to figure out a good date as well. So we'll figure that out. But it will be in June, sometime near the end of it. And I appreciate all of you for coming once more. Let me see.